city that never sleeps. The city that everyone dreams of visiting. The city that has over 13,000 taxis. The city that gets over 50 million visits every year by tourists from all over the world. The city with over 20,000 restaurants with all types of food. The city with over 800,000 companies. The city where over 4.9 million people ride the subway daily. The city that is known as the capital of the world. Yes, that is New York City. The Humanities Communication Arts Department at Norwalk College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now join our host, Yunal Yitsupman, to meet the next director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you're about to meet are students who, when not on camera, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student will write and direct 4 different productions. This program will give them the chance to talk about themselves, the productions they have completed, and give you the chance to get to know them and watch their progress throughout the semester. Our guest today is a student at Norwalk Community College who is currently working for Univision Radio in New York City as a radio personality. He came to this country at the age of 11 and is now working towards earning his associate degree in communications. In the future, he plans to attend broadcasting school. We would like you to meet today's guest, Juan Ospina.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here today, John. What is it like to be working in New York City and working for Univision?
Well, let me start off by thanking you for the opportunity to share my story here today. I can honestly say that I couldn't ask for more at 22. It's been almost a year since I started working for Univision, and I've learned a lot. There's been tough days on the job, but I love doing it. I commute every day to work, and it's an awesome experience. I get to see all types of people, and I get to make new friends on the subway every day. New York City is a tough market for the radio industry. Anything that trends in New York City tends to trend nationally, so you have to make sure that you make a good connection with people. At the end of the day, if they have a reason not to like you, chances are you won't be making it very far. I absolutely love the buildings, all the restaurants, and all the pleasure and fun that comes with the job. We often get passes for exclusive events with artists and top companies. Everything that you could think of, we have it in New York. And Univision has been that door for me.
Nice.
Things like this on the subway, people playing, sometimes they get delayed. People come into the city every single day from all over the world. The hot dogs in the corners, Statue of Liberty, and all the other attractions that are in the city that everyone wants to see. I get to see it every day for free. Tour buses. Oh, I've taken numerous tours around the city. Shopping is also another thing. I love shopping in New York. There's nothing like going for a drink after work with my coworkers. Traffic is probably not the best thing, but it's just part of it. You get used to it with time. Movies, a big thing in New York. Movie theaters are huge, and they're really nice. Nothing like down here. There's a lot of different food, a lot of different hotels, 5-star, 4-star, but you know, it's all tops. Shows, Broadway, McDonald's, fancy. And here we are.
Could you tell us why you decided to take the TV production course?
Of course. My biggest dream is to make it to television one day. I would also like to produce my own show. Making my own movie is another one of my goals. And with everything that I learned in this class, I'm pretty sure that in the future I will be getting there.
And what are some of the most useful things you have learned in the TV production course?
Of course, I've learned a lot. It's crazy to actually see how TV gets made behind the screens. Definitely, sequencing and planning is probably the most helpful thing, because unless you plan what you're going to be doing, and unless you use that storyboard Stoney teaches us about, you're done.
Can you tell us about the productions you created for the TV1 class, the Learning Project, the Action Sequence, the New England Project, and the Orange Project?
Of course, I'll tell you right now, the Learning Project was so much fun, especially since I was really anxious to get my hands on the project. It taught me the basics and everything else that I needed to know for the following projects. As we're going to be seeing on the screen right now, I got to work with my partner Gabe. We got to plan it. You know, the shots weren't perfect, but after reviewing it and sitting down with Stoney, I saw what I needed to learn for my next project. You know, if you miss a shot, that's it. If it jumps, that's it. In my second production, as you're seeing on the screen, I didn't make as many mistakes as I made on my first one. I had a couple, I'm not gonna lie, but it was fun. And I got to have more than one actor for my shot. The more I practiced, the funnier it got. Oops, got locked out. It's pretty much what happens if you fall asleep in class. Now, as you're seeing in the winter project, this one was a tough one in a way. I mean, it was fun, but you also had to make sure that you would get everything that Stoney wanted. He wanted lines, he wanted colors, he wanted a lot of different shots. So I had to make sure I got it. The shift focus wasn't an easy thing. I mean, at least to learn it, because once I got the hang of it, it was pretty easy and it was very fun. Now, as you're seeing in my last project, the Orange Project, I actually got to shoot it in Washington, D.C., and this was definitely the hardest one to think about, because it's just like, what are you going to do with an orange? So I figured my friend would fall in love with an orange. It's an easy thing. Why not, you know? Love isn't easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I know you had one project that you felt was your best. Tell us about it while we watch a sample of the video with music you selected.
Sure. As we're going to be seeing on the screen right now, my winter project was my favorite one. I definitely got to apply everything that I had learned in class. I shot, I drew my scenes before I actually started working on them. I got to do the zoom ins and zoom outs. And as you can see right now, all the lines that Stoney talked about, which were the C lines and the S lines, were also very helpful, and they look really nice on tape. I didn't realize it until it was actually finished. It took me a long time to actually get this project finished, because I was confused about everything that I had to get. But once I finally started going through the list and started checking things off, it was just fun. I ended up with too much footage. That was the problem. I had to choose my best shots, which in fact I did. It was like a magical thing. It was like a movie. I was really excited to go home and show it to my parents and my friends. Hey, I got to show off. I was doing something they couldn't do, and it looked really nice, by the way.
Right. You mentioned the variety of things you have learned in this course. What was the most interesting and important skill you learned, and how will you put it to use?
The most important skill I've learned in this class was definitely time management. Unless you meet your deadlines, unless you pay attention in class, unless you make it to class on time and you're there until the end of class, you're going to miss out. And if you miss out, you're in trouble. You know, I have to admit, planning is also a big thing. You know, they go together. If you don't plan everything that you have to do in the way that you have to do it, you know, you're not going to get a good result. But it was pretty good.
Right. Thank you. Today we got to meet someone who is working very hard to achieve the goals. Even though he's only 22, he's already working for the leading Spanish-speaking TV and radio company Univision. Juan's journey is only getting started. Everything that he has learned in the TV production will work in his advantage for years to come. Has to only learned a lot things in course, but he's already applying it at his own job. I would like to thank our guest Juan Ospina for joining us today.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Had a good time.
We hope you enjoyed meeting someone, television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you and have a good day.
This has been The New Directors with your host, Yunal Eat Sutman, directed by Lisa Tedesco. I am your announcer, Samantha Zulo. This has been a Norwalk Community College student production.